Welcome back once again to episode 10 of Your Home Sweet Home. Fletch from the Fletch Entertainment Network, that's me. Got Eric next to me, the Man of Steel.
Superman!
That's right, the Man of Steel, the Realtor of Steel. He's obviously from Navex Realty. We got his website here, which I honestly think I forgot to show last week.
That's quite all right.
My bad, but
we've seen it plenty of times, so
Absolutely.
any onlookers might know where to find me.
Absolutely. So
Still love all the additional views on the blog, so thank you everybody for checking those out. I got a new one coming up here that will be educational, so keep eyes for that.
Awesome. So he is of course Eric of Navex Realty. He is navigating you to your home sweet home. That's what he wants to do. It's if you choose him as a realtor by any chance, that's what he will do. But if you're watching this show, getting the tidbits and stuff, he will be helping you do that because he may not be your direct realtor. He's still giving you the greatest advice that he's got and help navigating you to where you need to be on buying your home or selling your home or maybe some other questions of things in between. This is episode 10, folks. We've got 9 on the bank. They're all on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, all under the same name, Fletch Entertainment Network. You can watch them all on demand, as well as some other things that I've done here. We're trying to do all kinds of great things and different things just to bring you a wide variety of entertainment. This all started because I heard somebody say there's nothing good on Facebook, so I'm changing that. So
That's right.
So this show is our real estate show. It's about houses. Most people just love their houses. I know I love mine. I know Eric loves his. It's a labor of love. Otherwise, who would do it? Because it's a lot of work. Yep. But we love it. As Americans, we just love our homes. And we love our apartments. I love the apartment I used to be in. But, owning a home, there's a lot more benefits to that, which we've gone over in quite extensive verbiage over those 9 episodes on the benefits of owning a home. So today, we want to talk more about
selling,
helping you sell your home, getting it. Everything's. Well, I think we walked through. What would we do? Well, we'll have Eric recap us because he's going to be better than I am. I'm obviously not the realtor. So, Eric, you can recap us on what we've gone over the last couple episodes, and then we'll go into what we're covering today. But real quick. Facebook, give me a like, give me a share. I appreciate it. I know Eric does too. Navex Realty, which is for Eric's site, is ericgroffrealtor.com. We'll roll that baby again because we didn't roll last week. So yes, please give us likes and shares. And also on YouTube, if you're watching there, we're there also. Fletch Entertainment Network. Give us a subscribe and click the bell so you can get notifications on everything that is happening here at the mothership. So I've always wanted to say that. So going over to Eric, he's going to give us kind of a recap of what we did last week and bleeding into what we're going to be doing this week, talking about your home and you're potentially wanting to sell it.
Yeah. So we touch base on what this place sounds like, what it smells like, and of course, just what a person is going to experience when they walk in the place. Now, what I didn't go into was some of the, itty bitty details of what you can do to prep your home. Did talk about how you can have it inspected, and yes, I'll put that tab, or I'll pick up the tab on that if you want me to sell your home. And
exactly.
That's a plus, right?
It's a benefit.
It is a benefit because you can find out way ahead of time when you're not under contract that you have an issue. You can attend to that issue over the course of the year, so you can financially be ready to handle such things. But how many of us, I'm not in this realm, but how many of us take the time to do the intricate cleanings that you need to? If you were planning on selling your home, you probably want everything to look relatively spotless. Where in the kitchen cabinetry, in the corners where the wood is, over time, it collects a little bit of dust. Dust turns into grime. Grime turns into something black and visible. And, it's not that you don't have a clean place to live. It's just not as new as it was when you first got it. So believe it or not, toothbrush with some vinegar and water and a towel to dry, so that you're not leaving your cabinets saturated, for a long period of time. You just briefly go over each little corner, and you'll when you get down to that level of your cabinet, you'll probably see other things there that you didn't even realize was there. But let me tell you, the person who's walking in your home, they're kind of examining you and your space like with a fine-tooth comb. They may be wowed with all of the space and the different things that they could do with the home, but there are some people that really, really are interested in the cleanliness of it. And imagine them being your highest offer because they love how well kept your home is. They already love where it is, and they love the space. Now, something else that we touched a little bit about last week was curb appeal. And curb appeal is one of those easy, inexpensive ways of improving how your home really pops, to somebody in pictures, and when they walk up, of course, to come in and show the place. So, edging. I know some of these things. Give me some of the things that you do for your home, and that you would know how you could give some curb appeal.
Well, yeah, certainly. It takes a little extra time if you haven't done this, but treating your yard to where it's not a dandelion factory. There are a very few people out there who really love dandelions, and I know them. Most people don't want them in their yard.
Right.
De-weeding and dandelion-free, cat crab grass-free. But even quicker than that is, tidying up the flower bed. You don't have to go out and buy $1,500 worth of green all year round hedges or anything, but you could certainly plant a couple flowers if you don't have them, or just clean it up and lay down some nice mulch that has a nice smell to it. Some people get turned off by mulch. I say that because my wife does.
Yeah, there is the really good mulch is really pungent. It smells like a farm.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. But amazing, that stuff is very good nutrition wise for your soil, right?
Right. And I think the red mulch, personally, it's all personal preference and what your house looks like. The red mulch, it kind of pops sometimes, especially if you got some white outline stone and stuff. But if by some chance you need to have part of your outside vinyl or aluminum siding cleaned, getting almost everybody knows someone that has a power cleaner,
power washer,
or you can rent one for really cheap from one of the rental places, just get a bucket of the detergent-ish stuff for that and spray that thing off, because that's an eye turner both ways. It's like, wow, that looks great, or it's like, oh my gosh, they don't even clean so gutters, make sure you don't have stuff. There's a house on my street,
great
and I'm not going to tell you. I thought of this.
The trees in the gutter.
It's the little helicopters. It's like every helicopter in the entire neighborhood landed in this guy's gutter, and they're still there. This is June. Helicopters is like April, right? I mean,
wow.
So I'm thinking, and here's the funny thing. That's a really nice looking house. I can't believe his gutters are that stuffed. They're that high above the thing. I'm like,
is this a ranch, or is this
a ranch? It's a ranch.
Ranches are very easy to get to with a decent ladder, right?
Small ladder, right?
Somebody in the neighborhood is going to have a ladder if you don't have one,
right?
But 2 stories, I could understand why they're reluctant to deal with that, because not everybody has that long of a ladder to get up there.
And much like most neighborhoods, there's a kid that's willing to do some things. Maybe you don't want to have the 14-year-old kid doing your second story gutters because heaven forbid he falls or something.
Right. Will you please sign a waiver to make sure that you're not going to hold me liable for any bones that you break?
But if you can get somebody for where we live, there's a community kind of a newspaper website-ish thing where you can reach out and say, hey, I'm somebody, I need somebody. Actually, people do this. I need someone to clean my gutters. The app is called the Next Door. It's available just for about every neighborhood you can find.
Right.
I need somebody to clean my gutters, and the lady says, I can pay you $50. I'm sure there's somebody out there that probably will take the $50. He'll go over and clean her gutters for her,
Right.
So, and that's $50. If that's
inexpensive.
If the difference between selling your home is $50, spend the $50.
Right,
There's
right.
no
You have
doubt
no
about
business trying to sell your home if you're not willing to do a little bit of something to it
Right.
to make it look relatively decent. Now, I
Right.
have, in all fairness, I have a lot of people approach me on the as is mentality. What can I get for my house if I do nothing? And I
I love
listen.
it.
To each his own. And
Yes.
I have to be real with them based on whatever I see. So start with the conversation. What would you pay
Yeah.
if you saw your house?
Right.
And they kind of look me with wide-eyed look, like, and they start thinking, yeah, you're right. I could do maybe a little something, something, because after all, I mentioned last week how you got trash on the side of your house, or your trash is overflowing, your sagging gutters, and your soffits look like crap. If you're doing absolutely nothing, you're probably going to get the lowest offer possible, even in this
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
And your agent can't price it up that high. So yeah, there a little goes a long way, and you have to
Sure.
be willing, I think, in all fairness, to do something. Here's something that not everybody thinks about, but I do have some sellers remove their screens from their windows
Oh.
because over time, of course, dust and whatnot gets them dirty. And, it's a lot easier to clean the screens when you're down on the ground.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And not blast your window full of water. I mean, you run the risk of possibly putting too much water in the window well itself, and it can't drain fast enough, and that's not a good approach. I mean, you'd be asking it to basically live through a hurricane, and
Right.
we don't live in that kind of area, so our homes aren't really designed to take that kind of water pressure. So yeah, if you're trying to clean your glass, either take the individual panes out inside the home or outside the home, clean them out there. Same with the screens. But
Right.
that little thing, believe it or not, I have seen so many homes, Fletch, that just removed the screens specifically for the showing, because
Oh.
whether or not those screens, yeah, they're clean, but what if they look like they're not?
Okay.
Like, just because they got some years on them, and like anything else, they still function. They do what they're supposed to do, right? So if you open your window, you get a nice breeze, you keep the bugs out. That's what a screen's supposed to do.
Yep.
But screens over time, they're not that bright, shiny metal that they were when you first bought them. So I've had a lot of my sellers just go ahead and take them off, throw them in the garage, throw them in the shed, and it gives that presence, that curb appeal, that is, wow, I like
Kind of
this.
subliminal.
It is.
You
It
don't
is.
really think about. Like for instance, whenever I sell in a few years or whatever, I probably wouldn't do that, but it's because I have full size screens, and I would
Okay.
I would clean them if
Yeah.
they needed it. But from my standpoint, I kind of tell everybody when somebody's getting windows, I kind of well, here's what I did, blah blah, and somebody gave me two things of advice: triple pane windows and get
Yes.
full size screens. Because most of the modern windows today can come down or go up, down from the top or up from the bottom. The side of my house is the side where the easement is going this way, so there's no overhang. There's no, my house is going like this. So on the left side, it's literally straight down the wall. There's my window. There's nothing. There's no awning stopping the rain. So when it rains, we can lower down the top, so we have less chance of rain getting in than going to the bottom. So we will get a breeze still. So
nice.
because we have full size screens, we don't have to worry about where the screen is. The
Right.
screen up or the screen down, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it does look nice from the front of the house. It's a subliminal thing where you almost you go, what's different about that house? And maybe you'll pick it out. Oh, those screens are full size because I don't see the one screen, whether it's up or down. And if all your screens aren't down, it looks kind of weird. If your screen is halfway up, get it down. Because that's another subliminal thing. It just looks like your screen's cockeyed and halfway up. It looks like it's broke or something. So yep.
Older homes, they don't even have them. Like
True.
a lot of homes in Belmont, if they've not been updated windows,
Right.
and you throw those windows open, you got fresh air, and no bugs have a barrier to stop them. Right? They like
I wouldn't suggest that doing
I-
now with
right,
the cicadas,
with the
but
cicada. Well, if you live in Beaver Creek, you're okay because apparently they don't have a map to Beaver Creek. I've talked to a number of my friends, and they're like, "Cicadas? Yeah, we haven't
yeah,
seen one."
Riverside either. But
Yeah,
somebody I know in
so
Kettering swears
yeah,
there's
yeah,
thousands.
I've got an infestation problem. Yeah, definitely.
Lucky duck.
I've totally, you say.
Yeah.
So I'm outside today doing my trimming of the edges and whatnot with my weed whacker, and they basically think I'm the mothership because they were just
That's the biggest female cicada I've ever seen, or
it's like,
whichever one that makes the noise that thinks you're the other one or something. Yeah.
yeah, and there's like, and he's blue. Look at him, he's blue because I'm wearing this shirt.
He's super cicada.
I was super cicada.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. So
So when
yeah.
you guys were mowing today, was it Crunch City or did you get all those shells up?
I let Tanya do the mowing today. She insists on it being exercise. I think it's not exercise. It's a chore.
It's walking.
But teach his own. I'm not going to get in her way when she wants to do this. So I do the trimming and the blowing off of all the grass clippings once she's done to clean up the yard and that sort of thing. So it's a teamwork effort. I don't know if she did the crunchy crunch, but I imagine so because.
Do you have the blower that turns into a vacuum too?
I do not.
Both ways. Because I thought about if borrowing if I was going to have 1,000 of it in my backyard, which I have not. I've had one cicada, and he probably was lost.
Yeah.
Or somebody threw him in our neighborhood. He what do you call it? Stowed away on another car. I was going to borrow her blower that can suck them all in, the shells. Thousands of them, and then turn it around and have it be where I could shoot them out. Yeah, that's the kind of time I have on my hands here. So
that's a Rambo wannabe thing that you're thinking of, right?
Exactly.
No, I got plenty of ammo. I got plenty of ammo over here for you if you want to live that dream. It'll be here at least for another week or two. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to stop over. And see your cicadas. It's either
it'll blow your mind.
I know that or down to John Bryant because I know there are a trillion of them out there, and so I got to hear that sound again.
Yeah,
because the next time they're around, I'm going to be a pretty old dude. So
that's right, both of us.
Yeah.
We went to Cox Arboretum yesterday, and they had the same sound that's in my backyard, though. Really didn't see a lot of shells or whatnot.
I'm sure they clean them up there. Yeah.
So I don't know, but getting back to the selling.
What are we doing this for? Oh yeah.
We got it way off topic. Cicadas. I know
if you're worried about cicadas making your house, they'll all be gone in about 4 or 5 weeks. So just don't worry about it. They don't live there. It's like a 6-week life cycle. So don't press it. If your house is covered in cicadas, if anybody doesn't buy it for that reason, they got issues.
They're not looking at the long term. I mean, they
don't want to be there in 17 years when they come out again. That's all it is.
Right. So, what are some of the other things that I like to make sure? Oh, we talked about decluttering, right? Yep. So this is on the point of not just what you have in your house where everybody can see it, but believe it or not, it would help to actually minimize what you have in closets and in some drawers, in some countertops, where you in your bedroom, maybe you have a lot of extra stuff like me on your dressers. Thinning down all that is pleasant to the consumer's eye because
try to look as less like a hoarder as you can.
Right. Yeah. Right. And the challenge here is, of course, where do you put all this stuff?
Right.
Do you want to get rid of it? Are you ready to get rid of it? Do you want to pay for storage? Are you able to put it somewhere that somebody's house that's maybe a relative that would let you, have some garage space or whatnot? Whatever the case may be, figure out a way to make your house look bigger. I mentioned that last week, so
Sure.
that's really important. And of course, get the get the place window cleaning wise.
Oh yeah.
We kind of touched base on that just moments ago. Yeah, get some, believe it or not, newspapers and white vinegar and water is some of the best stuff that you can use to clean your glass without streaks. And if you're a paper towel person, go for it. Whatever works for you. Do both sides so that you not only let in the most light that you can, but when people look out the windows, they're not going to see an uncared home. And that's really what this conversation is about. Like, you really need to make this thing look like it's it's well cared for, so that the next person believes that what they would be investing in is of good value to them.
Yeah, one thing I can talk about a little bit is because we put some of our own in when we did our floors, and that is the baseboards. Is that what that's called?
Okay.
The trim, I guess is what it's
Sure.
called.
Yeah. I call it base cove if it's like what hugs the wall, and sometimes you have a quarter round which
Right.
also
Right.
hugs the wall. Yep.
Well,
But base trim. Yep.
so when we did ours, we did not remove the current baseboard. So we
Okay.
did it up to it. So we added an additional nice little extension. It kind of almost makes it look like crown molding almost. Instead of coming straight down, it comes
Yeah.
down then out again. It's pretty neat. It works.
Okay.
But those kind of things, because they're where they're located, they take. If you stop and walk around and look at your baseboarding, you could probably just go around and touch them up a bit. Either clean them to get marks
Clean
off,
'em.
or if you have to touch
Yeah.
them, and that'll really change a lot of things to the subliminal eye, because white pops most time people's trim like that is white, not all the time, but whatever it is, it's usually an offset color to the wall, and it just kind of stands out because that's the way it's made between the
Yeah.
colors, the contrast. And your feet, the vacuum, the dog, whatever it is, those things take a beating, and a lot of times
Yeah.
it's just cleaning it. But you
They
might
do.
see where you might have to touch it up. But most time it's going to be just a cleaning. So like I said, soapy sponge and some whatever, vinegar, and it's just to get that stuff off. And so baseboards is another little. Don't forget to look down. If you're 6'2" like
Right.
me, it's pretty
Yeah.
far down there. So you might have to get on your hands and knees to see it. But yeah. So yeah, baseboards is another good
Good
tidbit.
point. Really good point, Fletch. Yep. That little effort to fine tune the small things goes a long way. It will to somebody.
My advice would be, I should say, here's a good piece of advice if you wanted it, and that is, friends that you know that are good at cleaning, have a little cleaning party. About 4 or 5 people come over, just
Yeah.
like a painting party, and
Right.
hey, we're all going to clean a little bit, help do this, help do that. You're not overwhelmed by doing everything at once. You're splitting it
Right.
up amongst 4 or 5 people, inside and out, maybe, or something. It's all done, and then just don't dirty it up with pizza while you eat to do that.
Yeah.
And almost everybody has some good friends that would love to, help out when they do things. And of course, when they're ready, they need help. You're there for them, and vice versa, and all that. I mean, I cashed in a lot of my helpers tokens when I got married and moved finally, because I was one of the last ones to do so. I spent all those years helping everybody else move, going, okay, you're on my list. You're on my list. So,
Yeah. It's time to
Right.
call in the favors. Right.
So now
So,
some people don't need help, but if you use the help, a little party. Well,
Yeah, and some people don't want the help too, right?
Let's say some people don't need it. We know a guy
they'd
that wouldn't want.
they'd rather handle everything themselves. Like, I want to make
Right.
sure all of my precious, it's my precious, and
Right.
it goes somewhere, and they have this sound mind that it was taken care of, and they're not going to be surprised when they get it to the new house and open up the box and go, look at there, totally broken, totally ruined. I wonder who that was. Oh, I know who that was.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
gonna get them for that. So,
Yeah.
but another thing, I do see a lot of homes that I'm touring. Their garages are full of what was in the house. They've, they've boxed it, or they've moved it out there as if it's a heavy item or a bulky item. And people get that. People understand. Oh, that's where the stuff is, because a lot of times we're walking through these houses like, wow, this place looks great, and there's hardly any stuff here. How do they live like this? And then the reality is, you open your garage, oh, that's where their stuff is.
Why is the
Okay.
garage locked?
Yeah, so I mean, in all fairness, it's really just to give as neutral and of experience to somebody walking in. You're not trying to show them it's your home. Declutter, declutter, declutter. Get the
Right.
stuff out, make it look bigger, and like Fletch suggested, clean the baseboards. If you feel like a touch up will work, do that. Otherwise, go to the nine. And I mean, if a lot of that baseboard is exposed in the room when you're looking at it, it might be worth painting.
Right.
Take the time, because first are lasting ones.
Oh yeah.
They really are.
The threshold on the front door and where the door and the door jamb is, the hinges,
Yes. Right.
on the front door, that is an absolute collection of some of the most interesting dirt you've ever seen in your life.
It is. It
Little
is.
sponge and water on that one, beautiful. Because they may not open all your windows, but they're going to see that front door. So you want to clean that threshold as nice as possible.
You reminded me of something, a statistic I heard years ago, and I don't subscribe to this, but there was a suggestion that painting your front door black actually generated between $5,000 and $10,000 more on an offer. Yeah, I don't know that I subscribe to that at all. I see a lot of doors that are red, and that pops, as you look and approach the house. But yeah, that's a first impression, isn't it? Like, whether it's from the street or when you walk in, that's when you're walking in. So I don't think I could paint my front door black.
I've never seen a black front door, I don't think,
Yeah.
and I don't.
I've seen very few.
I know that I wouldn't do it, and my wife wouldn't let me do it anyways.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not for me. It's
Maybe this poll was taken in Transylvania.
Also, maybe if I become Batman, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, like some part of the United States where black is very trendy, and it's in. And yeah, if you don't have a black door, buddy, your house isn't going to sell for as much as it could. I don't know, but
and,
yeah,
for the most part, things go in trends, and people our age like certain things, and people younger than us like different things, and that's what So, kind of like the black dishes. I know people that have black dishes. I've never liked black dishes, but there are people that like black dishes. So it's front door. It's definitely, I would say, on the unique side, because I don't really see that very often at all. So
another relatively inexpensive home improvement is your bathroom faucet. If it's like the finish has come off of it, and it really looks pretty bad.
Old.
It does,
Yeah.
right? I mean, these aren't that expensive of items. I know a handful of different places you can shop for them that will get them as cheap as $30 to $50. So they're not that expensive. They're not hard to put in either.
No.
You've got somebody, again, who's handy around you. Otherwise, I understand why you wouldn't want to do them if you don't have the handy side of it, because that would definitely increase the cost a lot if you had to hire a professional just to switch those out. They're really not that difficult.
Yeah, they're not. If anything, you might run to the point where you can't break it loose a little bit because of how long it's been there. That's something's there, but that's usually a friend or a buddy or something, But yeah, like I said, the whole next door thing. People, there was little advertisements in our newspaper thing that's for the neighborhood, if you will, and it's like a handyman. Give me a call. I'll do things real cheap. And it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's nothing that requires permits or anything. It's just little extra stuff. That you don't have to pay $400 or $500 for when you pay $50 to $100.
Right. And mind you, when I'm mentioning these type of new faucets, I'm not talking about a $400,000 house.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely, it's to relative of something that's 150 or less. You know, there are a little more expensive
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you're
if you want
getting
the
a
ones that
higher
are
end product.
Amazon and Google smart home available, those are going to be more
Yeah.
expensive, But you can even get really nice, modern looking ones for relatively cheap, $50 ish or whatever, that kind of curve up and come down, and maybe they're more of a bronze or a nickel versus the traditional
Just
chrome.
looking, I mean, because it's new, Fletch, it's going to
Right.
top, right? It's going
Yep.
to look nice. And as long as the counter of your vanity base is in good shape and paint the walls around it, yeah, that little touch will make a difference versus the old one, right? Like
Right.
the finish that's, nasty looking. Because the first thing that person will think of is that's the first thing to go if we buy this house. So, um, my wife and I over the weekend went refrigerator shopping.
Ooh.
And you mentioned some fanciness about the faucet, and it just reminded me. We saw a refrigerator, Fletch, that it had a basically a computer on the outside of it, looked like a tablet. That it's an interface. You touch it, and it'll tell you the weather, and you can hop online and do whatever you want to do. And I looked at my wife and said, "You realize we have a laptop? We
Yeah.
have other means to do our computer experience other than our refrigerator." And
Yeah.
my daughter was all about it too. She was having a lot of fun. She's like, "Dad, please, we gotta have it. We gotta have it. We gotta have it." I'm like, no, it's not practical, and we have other means of getting that internet. But it just is crazy where technology is merging. First it was the smart appliances where we could learn things about them with our phone or our HVAC. If we
Right.
wanted to turn it on or off, or our alarms, our lights, you can utilize your phone from a remote location and manage what you wanted to. And now our refrigerators are becoming our entertainment. We're going to not only we'll put our chairs right in front of our refrigerators
Yeah,
so
I
we can
guess.
watch what we want to, open the fridge, not get up there. I got my soda, shut the fridge and continue.
Yeah, it's I saw a commercial for one of them where I guess you can be in the store, and if you have mustard, you can look at your phone and it'll live camera inside your fridge to see
Yeah,
what's in your
I've
fridge.
seen
I'm
that.
thinking, okay, I can see that being a practicality, but yeah, all the other stuff, I'm like, do I really need, now if you want a TV in your kitchen and you don't have a room for it, getting a fridge with a TV in it, okay, then I guess that kind of checks something off there. But who repairs that beast? Do you
Exactly.
call the TV repairman? Call the TV repairman, and he comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm going to take this to the shop. It's a 2,400 cubic ton refrigerator." What? Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, that's
I'm sorry, sir. I don't work on those. I replace those. So,
right. That's interesting stuff. There's no doubt. So yeah, I had a thermostat for the wall that was Wi-Fi and all that. It wasn't the Nest. It was like Honeywell's Nest, but Honeywell's a viable company that makes things. So
yeah.
it something happened with my HVAC, and I ended up it basically zapped that unit where I had to get a whole new unit because it was a computer and it fried it. So I
Yeah.
went back to the old, not the old dial, but the traditional programmable one that doesn't have Wi-Fi and stuff in there, anything like that. So I just, and as a computer geek as I am, it's more than less that I just didn't want to spend the money on another one, So it wasn't under a warranty or anything when that happens. It's just
Right.
it's the way it goes. So
Oh, and they asked me when we bought this fridge, want the 3 to 5 year warranty on this, and I'm thinking, let's see, fridges typically last 10 years, 15 years, 3 to 5. That's probably not going to do squat for me. So,
yeah,
yeah, no, I'm good. And they did the same thing with my car. When I bought my car, they said, "Would you like the up to 100,000 mile coverage. I'm like, no, I'd actually be interested in the one from 100,000 to
Right.
200,000. Sir, we don't have those. We don't have one of those. Well, see, that's the problem, because that's where you get my business, because there's something going to go wrong between that window.
Not to switch total gears, but when I got my car in 2016 is a 2013 car.
Yeah.
I pay a little bit each month extra, and my car will be paid off next year.
Okay.
For as long as I own the car, no matter how many miles are on it, when something goes wrong with it, that's not wear and tear, which of course brakes are wear and tear and all that. But like
brakes, tires.
For instance, if I need a new alternator or a new what's the other thing, starter, which I actually had the starter go out on me a couple years into the car, I pay $100 deductible, and everything else is taken care of. And I've actually cashed in on that once with a starter. It would have been $400 because they jack everything up at the dealer.
Oh,
cost me $100, and that's for the life of the car.
That is great. I'm thinking
they can't total it out. They can't say, "Oh, your car's not worth that much," so we can't. They have to fix it. So
I'm thinking if you ever deal with a where the oil starts leaking from the engine, whether it's a main gasket or rear main gasket,
right.
If you have one of those, buddy, that little policy you just bought is definitely going to come in handy. That's gold right there, for sure. Because those things are ridiculously expensive. We were discussing your car and what a killer deal that would.
I mean, basically, I took a car. I traded in a car that was 300,000 plus miles. As a 06 Chevy Malibu. So the guy knew. He goes, "Are you the kind of guy that drives the wheels off a car?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, you're going to want this what we offer, warranty, And he said it's not for wear and tear, but it's for everything that's mechanical, like your transmission, your starter, your alternator, everything involved with the engine, anything.
I'm a lot.
$100.
I mean, is that exhaust too? Or is exhaust considered engine. Wear and tear?
I wouldn't think there'd be wear and tear, but if that happened, it wouldn't be as near as bad as a gasket. Obviously,
Right.
It's funny, the 06
gasket,
all the 06 Malibu that I turned in, I got it in. Let me think. Actually, I got it in 06. It was a brand new car, 12,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
I turned that car in 2016, so I had it for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Never had to touch the exhaust. Never.
Wow.
Same exhaust, front to back. Never had to touch it. Isn't that amazing?
Very lucky.
That's the only car I've ever had.
Very lucky.
I shouldn't say that. The Honda Civic I had was 200,000 miles. I never had to touch the exhaust. I wonder if they're making exhaust better. I don't know. Muffler shops we're getting way off here, but
we are. Yeah. We're no longer talking
It's organic. It's organic. That's what we do here. So
that's why we call it an unscripted script.
If you've got a muffler story, bring it to us. But
you wanted to know about cars because everybody drives to their house, right?
Right after this show, we're doing the Car Guy show, and it's still me and Eric. So.
I'm going to get a different hat on and be somebody else right here.
I'm Cooter. But basically, you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can get some help, some friends usually and neighbors if you don't want to do it all yourself. And in one afternoon, you can probably add, who knows, man, $10,000 to $15,000 more to your house, just making it look better. And as long as the inside looks as good as the outside, same old. So there's a lot of neat things and little things you can do that don't cost a lot of money, maybe a little bit of labor and love. And if you don't have the physical ability, there's plenty of people and churches that out there that are more than willing to help out and bring an army of people to you, and for nothing other than just being someone to maybe make some lemonade for them or something like that. And, you can get it done. So I can say that tremendously. And I go to a church that does that. So if you don't know anybody, you can just message me. You can find me, Fletch Entertainment Network.
There you go.
And I go to a church where we will come out.
And he's a resource of many good things. Awesome. I love it.
Exactly.
Love it.
So restaurants. I'm going to go first. I think I might have mentioned this before, but because I know I'm eating it tonight, I'm going to mention it again. Joe's Pizza.
Joe's, yes, you have mentioned it.
And
Yes,
that's all you need to say. I've
right.
never heard anybody say anything bad about Joe's Pizza. I mean, there's probably somebody had a bad experience, but Joe's Pizza. I love Joe's Pizza. It rocks. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. Joe's Pizza.
I'm going to have Joe's in the near future. Like many of these other suggestions, Fletch, you subliminally put them in my head. And I find that one day after our episode, I'm going and I'm sitting down at the very restaurant we talked about weeks past, and bam, there I am like, Fletch didn't. It was his fault. I'm eating here because of Fletch.
I'm predicting the next one is going to be Carmel's because that's in your backyard almost, right?
It is. It is. It is indeed. But yeah, this past week I ended up at Frickers. You had just talked about that
That's
one
right.
last week, so I thought that was hilarious. I also ended up at Coronado's
Yes.
at the Green, and I'm going to give it a half thumbs up. It was good food. I think my company that I was with was tremendously better, and I had a really good time because of the people I was with.
Sure.
The food was decent. What was amazing there was their Blanco con queso,
Okay.
and I think all of us were basically fighting back. Each spoonful. I think we wanted more. Like we could have said to the waitress, "Hey, could we each have our own bowl?"
Right. Right.
We went through that stuff pretty fast. So
It's kind of like a sitcom where if you can hear everybody's thoughts, all you would hear is, "I wonder if he's going to take the last." If there's
Nobody
two left,
actually-
if I take one,
and I thought about using my finger to do about that remaining amount there, but I kept my manners about me and didn't do that. But one good for the not a local, as we mentioned off camera, not a local chain, but great cheeseburger is Culvers,
yeah, yes,
and we don't have one close to us. Well, Troy is the closest to us at present. I don't know if they have plans. Do you know if they have plans?
there's one I don't know where, but just about everything in Vandalia is on 40. So if I had to guess, it's on 40. They're putting a Culver's in Vandalia.
Okay.
I just don't know where. So, but when I do know, I plan on going there because that's almost the next town over from where I live. So
Yeah, it's not too far.
it's hard to imagine them not getting more, at least one down in that area south of town because that's just such a huge area.
Oh yeah,
Restaurant galore. But I think Culver's is a little meticulous. They don't want to oversaturate and run themselves out. And I haven't been to a bad Culver's yet. I've probably been to 3 or 4, 2 or 3 in the area, and then 1 out of state. And it's just immaculate. I call it like an upscale Dairy Queen because it's incredible custard.
yeah.
And as well as their food, and they make everything to order. They'll give you a number, but they literally say on the sign, everything's made to order. Fries, they drop them. Burger, they drop it. So you're getting food made for you.
Fresh.
And it's always good, man.
They'll never disappoint. Yep.
Love Culver's. And they got Diet Root Beer on tap. Bam.
Really?
Yeah, on the machine.
Yep.
Diet Root Beer.
Cool.
That's good stuff. Do you remember growing up in Huber, Christies Pizza?
Oh, sure.
There's still one Christie's left. I think it's the original one in
I have
Vandalia.
been there this year, Fletch.
Oh, yeah.
I had lunch. I had lunch out there, and
Excellent.
It was every bit of what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered that as we were talking about pizza because they used to have one in Huber, and then it became Classic Pizza. Christie's moved, and Christie's is gone now, but it's still in Vandalia. So I took the wife and kids there. We've been there 3 times, and it's good stuff. And I mean, it comes out so piping hot. Kids are like, "We're hungry." Okay, if you touch it now, you're gonna lose the roof of your mouth.
Singe your entire roof. Yeah. Yeah.
Skin will just come off. So
It will.
the good old days. The good old days. So, episode 10 is in the books.
There you go.
This has been a blast, and I'm looking forward to the next 10. And we're going to get creative with things that we need to do here. We're talking about homes, but I think we got some ideas that are going to keep it creative. So
Might have to share some stories about what my people have seen, what I've seen, what they've seen, what we've experienced in home buying and selling. It's different. Every situation has something different about it that I learned from. So, it's
Yeah, I think it might be cool. I know a guy that he's kind of a general contractor, and he had actually flipped the house. I know you flipped the house.
Yep.
I thought about trying to get him on with us for a part of a show where we can talk to a general contractor when it comes into either flip questions or just in general questions that are a little bit above the grade of DIY or something like that. Just ideas.
That's great, because I have a lot of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed people who show up with that mentality. They've watched all these DIY shows and they're ready and raring to go. Like, I'm not opposed. They'll start out, I'm not opposed to fixing up a home. So yeah, great topic for coming episodes.
Right, exactly.
Love it.
If I didn't tell you, so I'll tell everybody and you, we got a new dishwasher. We got that in, I think, last week, and we couldn't get it started. I mean, we put it all in. It was hardwired. Closed the breaker, it wouldn't start. After 2 hours of finagling with everything, we just the guy that I had put it in basically came down to the point he goes, man, all your breakers are really loose. They should really snap closed, and they're really easy.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
Jiggled it a bunch of times, and then it came back on.
That's right. I remember you talking about this.
So we are going to replace all of our breakers. Apparently, it's not very expensive to do so, and he's going to do it. So that's a good tidbit. We'll talk to general contractors about that when we have them on. But it's something you don't think about. I never really paid attention to it, but those breakers get loose over time. I think it's the original box. It's 1975. So just replacement breakers, and have a professional do it, because there's a certain piece of metal behind there that if you touch, you won't even know it.
That's what she said last time.
Yeah, you'll be in Elysium, surrounded by everyone you used to know. So, yeah, I think I did say it last time.
Bless, you're so funny.
Sorry, but
it's all right.
It was so good I had to say it twice.
I know, right? You'll be in Elysium. That's a way.
Tune in next week when I tell you about my dishwasher story. I'll have to edit that one out.
I love it.
Okay, so we say it every week. It's Facebook and it's YouTube. So Facebook, a like and a share. Give us the love that we deserve by giving us likes and shares. Also on YouTube, it's subscribe and click the bell. And if you have any questions, give them to us. We want to answer them. Absolutely. It's ericgroffrealtor.com if you want to reach Eric. If you want to read his blog, some of you have been doing it. He's been seeing some increased traffic. That's excellent stuff.
Yeah.
And Eric is also a talented musician. So the music you heard at the beginning as every week, will continue the end of that song. And if you're ever interested in it, then maybe you can drop us a line and we'll learn you how to hook up yourself up with some Eric Groff inspired music. So until next time, have a great week. And we look forward to seeing you right here, as we do every week, on the Flush Entertainment Network. Until then, take care, God bless, and have a great week.
See ya.